Welcome to Insanely Positive! Your oasis of joy when the world seems grey and full of grumpy faces. I'm Suzanne Freiherz. Thank you for joining me. I'll feed you buckets of joy to bring out your best self so you can live your best life. Hello everyone. In this episode, we will talk about Schrodinger's cat and how it can remind us and help us to choose positivity. Now, what does Schrodinger's cat have to do with possibility? We'll find out today. Let me start by saying that most situations in our daily life are neither 100% great nor 100% bad. But they're kind of both at the same time, aren't they? And it's always in our own hands. What do we do with the given situation? And today I am sharing a code word with you that will remind you that in every situation you have a choice. You can choose to see and to focus on the positive, and you can choose to nurture the beautiful, the great things, the positive so much that it becomes like a light in your heart. And that light guides you and helps you through difficult times. So we will make sure that Schrodinger's cat is alive. Let's start with Schrodinger's cat. Do you all know the thought experiment of the Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger? Let me briefly and roughly explain what the experiment was about. It was a thought experiment where a cat is held in a steel box together with a radioactive substance, a Geiger counter, a hammer, and a flask of poison. When the radioactive substance begins to decay, the Geiger counter activates and triggers the hammer, and the poison is set free. Since no one knows when or if the poison is released, the cat is both dead and alive at the same time. Only by opening the box we can find out which it is. Before I continue, please let me point out again that this is a thought experiment. No one has ever done that for real, and no cat was harmed during the experiment. This experiment is based on quantum mechanics, where they say that a system can have two different states at the same time, and only when a measurement is made or there is an observer, the system collapses into one of the two states. So in our case, the cat is both dead and alive at the same time, until somebody takes a look. And then the cat is either dead or alive. And when I think about our everyday life, it kind of works that way. The majority of our experiences have the potential to be both good and bad until we decide how we react and how we handle the situation. And by reacting a certain way, the situation is either good or bad. And it's like this expression about the glass. Is the glass half full or half empty? Well, it is both. It is half full and half empty at the same time. It's true that it's half full, but it's also true it's half empty. And only by making the decision, we see either this or that. And whatever we choose is our reality. So some of us see a glass half full and others see a glass half empty. I have a story that happened to Tom and me a couple of years ago. We were on vacation on Tenerife and we spent the day on one of the beautiful black beaches. It was the time around Christmas and we enjoyed the warmth, the sun, the blue sky and the salty air. And we had some food and a book, and we were lying in the sand in our bathing suits. And we had quite some distance to the water. It was a pretty big beach. And I was taking a couple of pictures of the waves coming in when suddenly I watched a wave picking up speed, and it began to rise instead of ebbing away like it should. So I alarmed Tom, and I had the camera around my neck, and I grabbed a backpack, and then we just ran. And the wave was faster than us. And Tom grabbed me because I couldn't withstand the pull of the water, and I would have fallen, and I would have been dragged into the water. So he helped me, and we had water up to our bellies for, well, really a brief moment only. And then the wave just went back as fast as it had come. And luckily, only us and one other guy had been on the beach, and he was soaking wet like us. But we were all safe. And we only had left what we were wearing and the backpack. Everything else had been taken by the sea. Our clothes, books, shoes were gone, and we returned home barefoot and in our bathing suits. And we did have the backpack, but everything in there was completely soaked, and our mobile phones were ruined too. So, as I said, this was a couple of years ago, and back then mobile phones were not waterproof. And since our mobiles were ruined, we couldn't work. We were used to working during our vacations to deal with urgent things and to make sure that the work doesn't pile up while we are away. And this would have been a fantastic opportunity to complain and to stress out and to focus on the negative aspects. We could have focused on the negative, and we could have spent the rest of the vacation talking about this and nothing else. But it would not have changed anything. We would just have ruined our vacation. That the stuff was gone, that the phones were ruined, well, we couldn't change that. But we could choose how we want to react to what had happened. So we could choose, is the cat dead or alive? And our decision was, the cat is alive. Meaning we focused on the positive. So we said, okay, finally we have a couple of days without any work. So we have time to just relax and recover and recharge and maybe buy some new shoes since ours were gone. And also we were, of course, very, very happy that we were both well, because this could have gone differently. I will never forget the moment when I realized that the water will just take me with it. And then I felt Tom's arm around my waist and I knew I was safe. So there was a lot of positive to focus on. And we just allowed the positive to take over. And then we just didn't care much about anything else. So you see, every situation has the potential for both. We can focus on something positive or on something negative. It's all in our own hands. We can choose, because life is not black and white. It's not either this or that. It kind of is everything all at once. It's an abundance of possibilities, of potential. And we humans, you and I, are powerful, magical beings that can actually choose and decide which of all the options will become our reality. And just allow me to add that it's not true when we sometimes believe others have an easier life. Maybe you know the feeling, you look at a person and you think, he or she is always so happy and positive. Their life must be so easy. That's simply not true. We all have our challenges, our insecurities, our bad or sad days. But we all can decide how long do we want to stay in a negative state of mind. How deeply do we want to lose ourselves in things that are not so good? Do we allow the not so great days to overshadow everything else in our life? And I think all it needs is constant practice to stay positive, to get up when we fall, to focus on the positive, to appreciate all the beautiful and great things in our life. And that helps us and supports us when we go through not so great times. So circling back to Tom and my vacation, it was actually a beautiful holiday for us. And we were refreshed and relaxed like never before. So it kind of was a gift that we couldn't work, that we had lost the things, the phones. And this experience has helped us in the years to come because we had the chance to become aware that we need a break, even from a work we love so much. So that turned out to be a very valuable life lesson. And I can't stress that enough because I see a lot of posts on social media saying, do something you love, because when you love your work, you kind of never have to worry about work-life balance because you're always doing what you love and it never feels like work. To a certain extent, I agree. Yes, it is fantastic to have something that you love, and when working feels like having a great time, that's awesome. I know how that feels, and I'm so grateful every day that I feel that way about my work. But, and here comes the but, and that's important, we all need a break, even from the things we love doing. We all need a balance between being active and recovering, because there can be too much even of a good thing. Let's look at the most basic example, how much we need balance in our life. Just think of being awake and going to sleep. We can't just do one thing all the time. We need to balance being awake and resting. We don't want to rest too much and spend our life in bed, but also we can't be awake and active forever. Creating an amazing day is awesome, and when we feel the day is too short because there are so many more interesting things we would love to do, we still have to go to bed and rest. Giving our system the chance to regenerate, and regeneration only happens when we don't do a thing. So everything in life is about balance. Or speaking of holidays, you know the feeling when you're about to go on holiday and you're so looking forward to your holiday, but we all know it can be really stressful to prepare everything. So just keep in mind that positive stress is also stress, and we need time to relax. Circling back to Schrodinger's cat, next time you find yourself labeling a situation with bad or something negative, please think of Schrodinger's cat. The cat is both dead and alive until you decide which will be your reality. It's your decision. You can choose. Do you want to focus on the positive or the negative? So this, from now on, is our code word. Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat is a reminder that nothing is all bad or all good. Usually, it's kind of both. The potential for both is inside every situation, and the two states, the positive and the negative world, are happening simultaneously until we decide, what do we want to see? What will become our reality? And yes, sure, this needs a certain amount of effort and willingness to see the positive. Of course, we all have to make an effort, but it's worth it. It's your life. Yes, sometimes it's a lot easier to focus on the negative and get lost in there and spend your day complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. But I really think that complaining is a waste of energy and time. Why? Because complaining doesn't change a thing. So I invite you to use our code word. Just think Schrodinger's cat. And as soon as you're labeling something as negative, Schrodinger's cat, bam, code word is active. And then you focus on the positive and make this your reality. And I also invite you to share this code word with your family and friends. And this way you can support each other. So when next time somebody says something negative or begins to complain, to focus on the negative, somebody else can say, Schrodinger's cat. And then you immediately know what they mean. And you remind each other that in everything, even the difficult situations, there's always something good, something positive. And you can practice together and you can support and help each other. You know, Tom and I do this all the time. We support each other because, well, together everything is easier. So Schrodinger's cat is our code word now. And it helps you to not allow the negative to take over your life. And to further inspire you, I want to share with you a wonderful quote from one of my favorite TV shows, which is Doctor Who. And the quote is from my absolute favorite doctor. If there are Whovians out there listening to me now, you guys can guess which doctor said the following quote. If you know it, let me know on Instagram. We have to connect. Whovians have to connect. And you can write me the number of the doctor who said this. So, okay, this is the quote. The way I see it, every life is a pile of good and bad things. The good things don't always soften the bad things, but vice versa. The bad things don't necessarily spoil the good things or make them unimportant. Please take this with you today. Life is a pile of good and bad things. And even when not so great things happen, there is always something that remains untouched. Even when you're going through a difficult or sad or stressful time, just know that everything beautiful, good, great, wonderful, kind, loving you have ever experienced in your life is still within you. And you just hold on to that and don't let it become unimportant. Know that all your wonderful experiences, all your amazing relationships, and the fantastic humans in your life are like treasures in your heart. And all of that remains untouched by whatever is going on in your life. I think that all the wonderful, the good, the beautiful things that we were allowed to experience so far are a light on the inside. And whatever happens, this light is always there in your heart, like an anchor holding you and keeping you safe. And every day you add to your pile of good things as much as possible. and you feed this inner light, this light in your heart. Experiences are treasures in the heart, and a happy moment stays within you forever, and nothing can touch it. Thank you all so very much. I hope you enjoyed our time together. And I want to finish today with an announcement. Everyone who is listening has the chance to get a coupon for my online course called Head Off, Heart On. This is a 40-day course, and you can do it in 40 days, or you can take more time, whatever is perfect for your life. What is it about? Well, we will learn to let go of mental chatter and enjoy a new sense of clarity to realize your professional and private goals and dreams. And of course, we will dissolve negative self-talk and learn to shift our focus to the positive. And the goal of the course is to find a balance between head and heart. These two are not meant to contradict each other, but to complement and complete each other. And when they do, we can live our full potential. So this is what this course is all about, Head Off, Heart On. You can find all the information on my website. That's yuna.com, yuna.com, and I will put the direct link to the course in the show notes. And how do you get your coupon? Well, that is very simple. Just send me a DM on Instagram or send me an email. The address is suzanne@yuna.com. And what do you send me? Of course, you send me our code word, Schrodinger's cat. That's it. It's very, very simple. And I'd be happy to connect with you also on Instagram. Simply follow @SuzanneFreiherz. And in the comments, feel free to place a wish. What do you want me to talk about next here on this show? I would be very interested to hear where you can use a positivity input or ideas how to live your best life. And if you haven't, you can subscribe to my newsletter to make sure that every week you will have something positive in your mailbox. And if you like this podcast, and I really hope you do, please, I would appreciate a rating or a review, and please subscribe, and then you'll be notified as soon as a new episode is online. I am doing this podcast also in German. I am Austrian, like the brilliant Erwin Schroedinger, but I'm afraid that's where the similarities end. I'm sending a big, big, big smile to you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your life. Take care wherever you are. Drive safely. Bon appetit. Have a lovely hike, a successful ironing session, and sweet dreams. Thank you for telling me about all the places and activities you're listening to my show. And if you're doing something else, something I haven't mentioned, please let me know so I can think of you next time. Wherever you are, whatever you do, let the cat live. And let positivity pervade your beautiful heart and your thoughts and your words and your actions and all that you are. And create joy and bliss. Shed the negative. The new normal is insanely positive. Woo!